talking about the Essence Music Festival and some of the backlash that it received, saying that it's not focusing enough on Black American heritage. And I played that clip from that, quote unquote beauty influencer who was upset that it wasn't focused enough on Black American heritage.
What happened to Black American heritage at Essence Fest? So it's night one or night two, and there is a lot of complaints coming through, and the common consensus is the culture has shifted. It no longer feels like us. And honestly, that makes sense because the people in charge now do not value Black heritage. Essence Fest used to be known as the Cookout. It was created in 1995, created to center Black American heritage, the music, fashion, beauty, political power. It was basically like the family reunion created by Black people for Black people. Soul food, a little gospel, a little trap, NOLA. It was a culture that you felt deep in your chest. But now, not so much. It feels somewhat curated, corporatized, and it no longer feels like it centers us. The current CEO of Essence is a former DEI executive for Target. So the very thing that Black Americans are protesting, she was the center of, and now she's the head, the CEO of Essence. Upon more research, I found out that she is originally from Kenya, and she moved to the US when she was about 10 years old.
And I've been to Essence, and you were there, and I want you to sound off as well, Reese. But I do want to say this, though. Maybe, I'm 48 years old. So maybe I'm just out of this lens of the epic diaspora wars.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, yes, there are different experiences depending on where you were Black and you grew up in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a different experience between if you grew up in Philadelphia like I did and you grew up in Mississippi. There's a different experience.
Yeah.
It's just there. If you grew up in Philly or you grew up in LA, like you don't know Phyllis Hyman like that, Reese. You an LA girl. I don't know my LA.
And you don't know Sugar Free like that because you a Philly guy.
I don't know my LA hip hop. I know that's a small example, but there's certainly a difference.
No, there's different cultures, even Black cultures. There's different Black cultures, different regional cultures. Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. I have friends who are from the Caribbean and they have a different culture, different experience, and friends from West Africa. But I never saw I never thought they were the enemy.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia has, and I'm not saying that the influencer was saying that, but Philadelphia, they have a lot of festivals, the Unity Festival, and there's always a mix of Black Americans and Black folks who aren't from America and so on. And then, when you look into the history of Essence, I mean, she was talking about the history. Who was the most iconic editor of Essence magazine ever? Susan Taylor.
Yeah.
She was born in New York, but guess what? Her parents are from Trinidad and St. Kitts.
Ooh, plot twist.
So some people are critiquing Essence celebrating all of Black womanhood when the iconic editor of Essence, she was editor from 1981 to 2000. She really took Essence to the next level. And there were other editors before her, but she really took Essence to the next level. And the founders of Essence magazine were 4 Black men, and I couldn't find what their exact lineage was, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had diverse lineage as well. So you're right,
right.
Plot twist. So I'm if there was celebration of the beauty of the diversity of Black culture, I mean, that is not the opposite of what Essence magazine stands for.
Right.
And Susan Taylor, who I met at a Bevy Smith event last year, I love her so much. She comes from a Trinidadian, and literally mother born in Trinidad, father born in St. Kitts. What are we what are we
Plot
doing here? And
twist.
Reese,
Yeah.
you're a Black American woman, your lineage
Yeah.
is all Black American, but
Yes.
what exactly is going on? And I don't see how that helps the culture. Now, the critique of Target, totally get that. That's fine. The critique of, I guess at one point, I don't think the current editor works at Target anymore. I mean, I don't think she's there.
No, she has no relationship to that. That's
Are we
just
gonna shame people for a previous job that they had when it was a DEI job that Target used to have? Isn't that part of the ask right now to make sure that Target does not continue to dismantle all their DEI? I don't
that's
know
what
her
I thought it
story.
was.
So I was really disappointed to
Yeah,
see, and I know it's just social media, but these
that's what it is.
diaspora wars
That's what it is.
of
Yeah.
who's Black enough, of who's Black American enough, are Black women who don't have the perfect blood quantum lineage
Lord Jesus.
that you think is okay.
Mm.
They're not a part of the culture, or you're seeing too much
Yeah.
of them. And when I say blood quantum, I want y'all to look up that word. That
Yes,
is
I
really dangerous language in our
mhm.
history
Yeah.
of
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
of of parsing up what your
Mhm,
lineage
mhm,
is.
mhm.
And is it Native American enough? Is it Black enough? Is it pure
Yep.
enough?
Yep.
I just not for that. But Reese, I love to know what you think.
Well, they do that blood quantum shit anyways on social media to be toxic. I mean, if people don't like my opinion, a couple weeks ago, I was apparently Latina. All of a sudden, I said, okay, that's new because I guess these little Burmese bundles was giving, Latina, chitty chitty bang bang or something. So I don't pay any attention to all that shit because it's just people who can't have a substantive argument. They got to resort to, oh, well, your opinion is valid because of da 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 da. Part of it, so here's the perspective that a lot of people have to understand from a lot of the discourse that you're seeing. Influencers, content creators have a certain lens and perspective that I don't think people who are just a regular Joe Schmo attendee is going to identify with. Okay. And so I'm familiar with this particular content creator because she's a beauty person, and she went viral a month ago because she was talking about how the Black women that are prominent beauty influencers are not, let's to use the FBA, Foundational Black American Descendant of Slaves. They have, a lineage that is outside of America, the continental USA. And so there was an issue with that. Well, why is there enough space for Black American women? And so my interpretation is that there are people who are looking at the influencers that have brand deals. They're looking at the people who are sponsored. They're looking at people who are on stage, and some of those people are not American descendants of slaves. They're not African American. And if you're clocking that, then maybe to you it looks like, oh, the Black American woman experience is not centered. But that's a particular lens that people have in terms of this is a competition, in terms of this is a space where we're competing for brand deals and partnerships and da 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 da. If you're a person like me who usually a year out makes your hotel arrangements, who starts looking for flights 6 months ahead of time, who's checking for the lineup, who's going to the concerts, who just enjoys New Orleans culture, who pays for what you want to do, okay? Who can go on Eventbrite and find out which white party you're going to, whatever situation may be. That's not the lens that you're going to have it on. The idea that Essence Fest is like something that doesn't celebrate Black American culture is completely ridiculous. Of course, it has gotten more corporatized. Of course, it's gotten more to me, I don't like this influencer emphasis, this this
That's
this separate
interesting.
tier of Essence. But I said this year, I don't give a damn what other tier they got going on. My tier is I pay for my tickets. I'm here with my husband, my sister, my mom came in. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna eat good food. So I think there are people who are focused so much on what they aren't a part of, and they're a little salty about it. And I'm not saying they don't have a reason to be salty. Sure, you might have a reason to be salty, but that's not what I saw in the convention center, where you have families and you have people, going to the different activations. They had people performing at the convention center that I paid money to see the night before. Or that I was paying money to see the next day. Was I like, well, damn, I didn't have to buy tickets. You could just come to the convention center. No, because I'm not a hater. I was like, great. People still get to see Coco Jones. They still get to see whoever the situation may be. So I feel like we keep it in perspective, the people that you're listening to and why they might have that complaint. I'm sorry that L'Oreal Paris did not fly you out. I'm sorry that Shea Moisture or Meal Organics or you weren't invited to the Rock Nation Do Say brunch or whatever the situation may be. I'm sorry that they give the same 6 Black people awards every single Black convening. It's the same 6 people that's going to get awards and you're not one of them. I'm sorry for that. However, Essence is bigger than that. And to be honest, the big thing that changed Essence was COVID. It wasn't that, oh, this leader or that. It's COVID. Not as many people are traveling to these massive convenings anymore. Things are still expensive for a lot of people. And it's a smaller crowd. So, I mean, I don't want to diminish or dismiss other people's feelings, but and like I said, they might have some things that happen behind the scenes that make them feel a certain way. But when I was in New Orleans, I stayed at the New York, I stayed at the Marriott. Every time you get on the elevator, hey, where you from? Where you from? Oh, okay, how y'all doing? Y'all look good. Oh, you going to the right part? Black people was there having a good time. To me, that's what Essence is about. 20 years ago, all the streets was blocked off. You couldn't walk. It was elbow to elbow. That ain't like that no more. But Black culture cannot be gatekept. Black culture cannot be minimized. We too big for that. We too loud. We too proud for all that. So stop looking at what's curated. Stop looking at what's the invite only shit. Stop looking at these brand deals and stuff and formulating your opinion on it. And then I'm just a little tired of people who don't have real problems making their not real problems the dominating narrative around a situation where people before, well, be careful. I ain't going to Essence because that's where the terrorists gonna hit. They didn't. I didn't see no fights. I didn't see nothing. Nothing. It was a peaceful, wonderful, loving environment. If you didn't get that, then maybe your energy was off because that's not what I saw.
And I just do want to add a little bit about this whole idea of Black American, and the influencer stressed New Orleans. I mean, if you talk about Black New Orleans, you got to talk about the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I know some people don't want to go into the history bag, but I mean, Black New Orleans is literally it comes straight from Haiti, other Caribbean islands. New Orleans had a big class of free Black folks, many of whom were from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Like that is a celebration of the diaspora in general. New Orleans, like you're stressing, and it's in New Orleans. No, I can't even. I mean, we're talking about jazz. We're talking about their spiritual practices. I mean, this is the diaspora of Black people, and I'm just so disappointed when I hear people trying to act like Black folks who don't have the perfect lineage of American are somehow erasing us. I just
Well, because
don't even.
they're not talking about culture. They're talking about content. There's a difference between content and culture. Your algorithm is showing you content. Your algorithm isn't showing you culture. Culture is what you're experiencing. Culture is, like I said, getting on the elevator. Culture is getting down to the lobby and the DJ is playing, it's jumping, everybody is sitting up there. Oh, it's good looking in here. Culture is seeing people in all white outfits and be like, oh, where the white party at? That's culture. That's not content. So when you're focused on content and this person got this many followers and this is what you're seeing on their timeline, that by the way is curated by you and your algorithm and what you consume, then that's going to be your lens. But if your lens is culture, you have to experience that. You know what I'm saying? When you're in the restaurant, we're in the restaurant, we got Tribal Girls, and we see the lady, she always got the little bikini on. She like 70-something years old by now, and she riding around on her bike. That's culture. I recognize, I've been seeing her for 20 years. When you come out and they got the trombone players and the second lines and people, that's culture, bounce music culture. So you can't commodify that. You can't reduce the culture down to content.